Hello, 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 and welcome to Unseen Potential. My name is Emmanuel Aiku, and I am so blessed and so glad to have you here with me today, just so that we can both learn and grow together. Today is a good day, and the reason why today is a good day is because we are alive. My mom always tells me, Emmanuel, wherever there is life, there is always hope. And one thing that I believe is that each and every single morning that I wake up, it lets me know that God is not done with me yet. Even though I may be at a place in my life where I feel like God is finished and He is done doing the work that He needs to do in me. Each and every single morning that I wake up, it encourages me and it lets me know that God is not done with me yet. Today, what we're going to talk about is a topic which the Lord laid upon my heart, and it's titled, What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Let's talk about vision. In order for us to make decisions in our lives, in order for us to make choices, there's research that says that we make about 35,000 choices every day. We make a choice whether to brush our teeth, whether not to brush our teeth. We make a choice whether to wake up at 6 a.m. or whether to wake up at 8 a.m. We make a choice about different things in our lives. But one thing that I've come to understand is that the reason why we make certain choices in our lives is because we're seeking for a certain desire. Look at this story. So I remember a story about a young lady who was going on a journey, right? And it says that, and she came to two crossroads. One crossroad leading to the left and another crossroad leading to the right. And she didn't know which road to take. She didn't know whether to go to the right or she didn't know whether to go to the left. So because she was so complexed by not knowing which direction to take, she looked up and she saw a Cheshire cat in a tree. And she asked the Cheshire cat, which road should I take? And guess what the Cheshire cat asked her? Where are you trying to go? And that's the question that we must be able to answer for every single choice that we make in our lives, is that where is this choice leading me? Because the thing is that if your choices are not leading you towards a specific destination, then we are not living but just existing. We're not living in order to accomplish something, but we're existing hoping that something will happen to us. And in my life, my desire is not to wait for opportunities to present themselves to me, but for me to prepare myself for opportunities, so that when opportunities present themselves, it is not then that I begin to prepare. When a person wants to make a cake, they give specific instructions and directions on how much egg you put, how much flour you put, how long it has to be in the oven. And all of these directions are leading you towards a desired outcome of a cake. And the thing is that there are many different ways that you can bake a cake, but it depends on what you desire. So that's the question I want to ask you. Listening to this, what do you see? What vision has God given to you about your life? What do you see about your life? Where are you trying to go? Where is the end goal for you? Because every choice that you make and every choice that you choose not to make is still a choice. Not making a choice is still a choice. Just because you're afraid of which direction to take and you choose, like that young girl Alice, and you stand there and decide like, okay, since I don't know where to go, I'm not going to make a choice. Do you know that not making a choice is still a choice? So again, I ask you, where are you trying to go? Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to do? Because one thing that I've learned about God, not even looking at God, look at our world and our generation. When a person who is an entrepreneur and they have a business idea, and let's even look at Steve Jobs and the iPhone. When he created the iPhone, he created both the beginning and he also created the end. He saw a problem and he created a a product in order to solve that specific problem. And that's the same thing that God did with you. That he saw a problem in the earth. And he placed the answer inside of you. He put the book inside of you. He put the song inside of you. He put the building inside of you. He put the law inside of you. He put the song inside of you. He put the poem inside of you. Where Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have a dream. What dream has been placed inside of you that has fueled a hunger to see it come to pass? You want to know how you can discover your purpose? Find something in the world that makes you angry. Whether it's poverty, whether it's the lack of inequality, whether it's law, whether it's finances, whatever it is that fuels you up when you see it. That is a step towards helping you to discover what it is that you're created to be. But that is a whole different topic. The topic that we're talking about today is, what do you see? The Bible says that where there is no vision, the people perish. If you don't have a vision, an end goal, you will perish. Because the thing is that you will not be living, you'll be existing. The difference between a person who lives and the person who exists, the person who lives wake up every single morning with the motivation because they know specifically what it is that they desire to do, the outcome that you're looking for. The person that exists sits around and hopes that something happens to them. And that something that happens to them, guess what? They hope that that something, come closer to, they hope that that something is something that they desire. I had to learn that. I had to sit down and envision. Ask God, Lord, what is it that you have created for me to be? By the end of this, you will have tools in order to help you to begin to see visions, dreams, and in order for you to be able to understand that until you have a vision, until you have a dream, it will be hard for you to make calculated risk decisions. Decisions where it's like, even though I do not know whether this is the right choice or this is the right choice, at the end of the day, I know where to go. So back to the story. So we see, like Alice says, ask the treasure cat, and the treasure cat said, where are you trying to go? Where are you trying to go? Because maybe if you tell me where it is that you're trying to go, maybe I can direct you there. If you say that you want to be a nurse, I can direct you, like, hey, we have these nursing schools that you can go to. If you say that you want to do business, I can point you towards that. If you say you want to be a musician, I can point you towards that. If you say that you want to start a non-profit organization, I can point you towards that. But where do you want to go? What vision? What do you see? So, what is a vision? What is a vision? When you look up the word vision, it says that vision is defined as the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. The ability to think. The ability to think. What are you thinking about on a constant basis? What is fueling you? So a car moves because it's fueled by gas. What is fueling you? What is going on in the world that you're like, I hate seeing this, and because I hate seeing this, I must do whatever it takes in order to solve this problem? Steve Jobs saw that there was a problem and he created a solution. What problem do you see that you are like, there has to be an answer? So you have placed a mandate on yourself and said that I have to find out what the solution to this is. So a vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. The second thing is that, how do you see into the future? That's the question we must ask ourselves. How do I see into the future? In order for a product to know what it was created to do, it needs to go back to the manufacturer. It needs to go back to the person that created it and ask the person, what is it that you created for me to do? Because whatever it is that you created for me to do that will give me the motivation that when I see this problem, when someone says, I have a piece of paper and this piece of paper needs to be cut, the scissors is like, here I am, because I was created for this. Like when you're in the business room and someone says like, I need someone to create this design for me, you're like, here I am, because I am created to do this, because this is the problem and I am the solution for the problem. What are you the solution for? What are you the solution for? So God knows what he has planned for you. And he says it in his word. When you read the book of Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11, it says that, I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord. I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. That is what God says. He said, I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, because he is the creator of you. And he says, I know what I have created you for. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. So unless we are willing to go back to our creator, the person who created us, formed us, shaped us, and ask this person, for me, this person is God. Ask God, what is it that you created me to do? Do you know that it was in a place of prayer that Unseen Potential came to me? Do you know that it was about 3 years ago when I was on my knees in my apartment praying? And it wasn't even like I was praying for a purpose or anything of that nature, but I just remembered I was praying and I saw a statue. And the statue, if you look online, is called the Self-Made Man. I saw that statue, and it was there that God began to speak to me. And the thing is that as I took a step of faith, and the title came to me, Unseen Potential, and afterwards other things started coming to me about what God wanted to use me for, the problem that God has called me for, and the one particular problem that God has called me to do and to solve is to help people who feel like is to help people to discover their unseen potential. To look at the people that say that what good can come out of me, and to say that even though you may not see it, God has given me grace in order to look at you and say that this is what God has called you to be. Give you the tools in order for you to stir, to find out and to discover what it is that God has called you to be. The third question we must be able to, that comes to mind is, what are ways that God communicates his plans? So Emmanuel, you're telling me that God created me, right? So how am I supposed to receive what God has for me? How am I supposed to get what God has for me? Because you're saying it like it's so easy. It's so easy, like, because you say you received yours as you were praying. What is it? How can I see where I'm supposed to go? And sometimes the thing is that some of us, we start a journey and we see where we're supposed to go, but it gets to a place where we're stuck. And when you get stuck, what do? Do you continue to try to force your way through, or do you go back again to the manufacturer and ask and tell the manufacturer, hey, I know you were telling me this is the path I should take, but I came to a dead road. I came to a dead road. Where do I go from here? What do I do next? So how does God communicate his plans to you? Job chapter 33 verse 14 to 15 says, for God speaks in one way and in another, yet no one notices. Verse 15 says that he speaks in a dream, in a vision, in the night, when deep sleep falls upon man as they slumber on their bed. So what is one way that God speaks to us and communicates his plans to us? Job chapter 33 verse 14. For God speaks in one way and in another. So that lets you know that this is just not one. This is just one of the ways that God speaks to us. And he says that yet no one notices. So the thing is, what does he mean no one notices? You are having dreams each and every single day when you go to sleep. Some of you are having visions as you're walking. Some of you all have thought about, man, someone should write a book about this. And you say someone should write a book about it. Who said that you shouldn't be the one that writes the book about it? Someone should build a building for this. Who said that you shouldn't be that person that builds the building for it? Some of you are like, someone should solve this problem in my family. Who? You solved the problem. You solved the problem. Who said that you are not the one? Who Who said that you are not the one that has the answer to solve it? Or is the problem too big for you? Is the problem too big for you? You are created for a purpose. You're not a mistake. Just because you can't see it now does not mean that it's... Do you know the person that created KFC did not create, was not able to allow the vision to be seen completely until he was about the age of 70 years old? You're so focused on trying to please other people and you're not chasing after your divine purpose. What do you see? What do you see? Because what you see is what gives you the motivation to keep moving forward. What you see gives you the motivation in order to wake up each and every single day. What you see gives you the motivation to make the sacrifices that are needed in order for you to obtain what you want to obtain. So the question that I ask you is that, what do you see? What do you see in your dreams? What do you see in visions? What are visions? Visions are like when you're walking. For me, visions are like when you're walking and all of a sudden it seems like something flashes you. It's like you may see something, or it's like maybe you're praying and all of a sudden you see an idea comes to you. Man, I should write a book about my story, my life. Man, they should build a building for this. Man, I should start a babysitting company. Like you're sitting there, these ideas, but you're taking them just natural. It's just thoughts. But what if you entertain those thoughts? You're entertaining all the wrong thoughts. What if you entertain the thoughts which are actually revealing to you what you're supposed to be? So we see that God, he speaks in one way or another, yet no one notices. He speaks in a dream and in a vision when deep sleep falls upon us. So at the end of this, we'll pray together. And what my prayer for you will be is that God touches you, that tonight, that from this day forward, you begin to see dreams and visions. Something that a spiritual mentor told to me is that when I have dreams and when I wake up, I should write down the dreams, even though I may not understand it. I should write it down and I should pray towards it. Ever since she told me that and she prayed over me, I've been having strange dreams. Things about my family, things about my future, things that happened 2 weeks. And I didn't even know that these things were going to happen. I remember just recently something happened and I'm like, man, I had a dream about this. Do you know God is desperate and he is hungry and he wants to communicate with you? And he has been communicating with you, but yet you haven't noticed? So in order to have a vision, you must be able to have dreams. The next thing is that one thing I have come to learn is that as you grow up, you're told to stop dreaming and to open your eyes. And open your eyes means that here's a problem and it's up to them to solve it. It's the government's problem. It's my parents' problem. It's my siblings' problem. It's the company's problem. But what if you saw a problem and you took it upon yourself and tried to solve that problem? Some of us, we're carrying businesses within ourselves, but because we're too afraid, we choose to work for somebody else. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? But what do you see? What do you hunger? And thirst? What problem do you want to answer? My favorite person in the Bible is named Joseph. And Joseph had a dream. And he couldn't interpret it. Did Joseph know about Egypt? I don't know. Did he know about the Pharaoh? I don't know. Did he know that he was going to be the second most powerful man in Egypt? I don't think so. And the only way that God knew how to communicate to Joseph was in a dream. But look at this. Look at what God used as symbols in order to communicate to Joseph. The first dream that Joseph had, he had dreams that the moon, the stars were bowing down to him. So, if I had a dream like that, I'm like, why are the moons and stars bowing down to me? And I will not think any of it. I would not notice it because I'm like, oh, maybe it's just a weird dream. But Joseph was like, man, there's something about this dream that I just cannot shake off. Do you know that God uses what you know in order to show dreams and visions to you? I'm sure that if Joseph knew about the Pharaoh and knew what a Pharaoh was, that he may have seen a Pharaoh. So what do you know? What do you know? So it was a vision. It wasn't a vision that Joseph created on his own. It was a vision, a dream that was given to him. What are you dreaming about? What do you hope to see? Because that is what will fuel you up to wake you up each and every single day. So I want us to turn our Bibles to the book of Mark chapter